The second part that we'll be creating is a bolt that we'll be using for our assembly. So in order to create the bolt, we followed the sequence of steps. Step 1 will be to create the bolt head. Step 2 will be to create a hexagonal socket. Step 3 will be to create the shank. Step 4 will be to chamfer the edges. And step 5 will be to create the cosmetic threads. So let's go ahead and get started. Select your working directory. I'm going to select my working directory in my removable drive in a folder called Assembly. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to create a new part, and we're going to title this part Bolt. Go to your Model tab and create an extrusion. We're going to select the top plane and go to Sketch View. Under the Sketch tab, we want to create a circle. Select the origin as our center, and then move out. Escape or hit your scroll key and change the dimensions of the circle to 0.55. Exit the sketcher by clicking OK. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add a depth of 0.375. Press Enter. Click OK to exit the feature. Now that we have created our bolt head, what we want to do is we want to create an extrude cut. So go to Extrude, and then we want to remove the material, and we want to place it on the top surface of our cylinder. Go to Sketch View, and on the Sketch tab we want to click File System, and what we want to bring in is our hexagonal section from Lesson 6. Now if you need to pause the video in order to bring in this section so that you can find it in your documents, you can. I've already set my sketch on the assembly folder, so I'm going to go ahead and click Open. I'm just going to drop it anywhere in my sketch area, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag the center point of my circle down to the center point of my cylinder. Notice how I already have this referenced, and then I'm going to change my scale to 0.25 and then click OK. Go ahead and click on the Sketch tab so that you can change how we're dimensioning this hexagon. So instead of dimensioning our construction circle, what I want to do is I want to dimension from top to bottom. So go ahead and click on the normal dimension and select the top line and the bottom line, and then click your scroll key right in the middle, and we're going to change that to 5/16. So 5 divided by 16. I'm going to select OK to exit my sketcher, and then I'm going to give this a depth, and I'm going to rotate this a bit and give this a depth of 0.182. Once I've done that, I'm going to click Enter, and then I'm going to click OK to finish my feature. Go back to standard orientation, and then I'm going to add an extrusion to create the shank of my bolt. So I'm going to rotate my bolt and add the surface as my reference. Go to Sketch View. On your Sketch tab, go ahead and click Circle. Hit Escape, and we're going to change this radius to 0.375. And then what I want to do is I want to exit my sketcher, so click OK, and then add a depth of 1.5 to the bolt. Make sure that it's in the appropriate direction, so you can rotate your object if you need to, and then click OK to exit the feature. Go back to standard orientation, and what I want to do now is chamfer the edges of my bolt. So I'm going to click my chamfer tool, and I want to select a 45 times D, and this is going to be a dimension of 0.025. Press Enter, and then select the top edge and the bottom edge of my bolt. Once you've done this, go ahead and click OK to exit the feature. Go back to standard orientation. The last feature that we want to add to our bolt is our cosmetic thread. So go to your Model tab in Engineering. On the drop-down menu, select Cosmetic Thread. The first thing that we want to do is select the placement of the thread, And what we're going to select is going to be the outer surface of our shank. Close your dialog box, and then we're going to go to the depth. Select the bottom surface of the bolt as the start. And we're going to give this a blind of 0.75. Press enter. The last thing that we want to do is go to our properties tab, and we want to enter the following values. From major diameter, we're going to click 0.31. We want 24 threads per inch. This is going to be an UNF, a class 5, and we're going to leave the rest as is. Close the properties tab, and then click OK to finish. Go to standard orientation and save your bolt.